Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am super excited for this video because I'm going to be testing out the new e.l.f. times Jkissa collaboration. I have all the products in the collection here. I did go ahead and pick these up myself and I was just super curious to try them out and just see if they were good quality. So in the collection there is a liquid eyeshadow topper duo which looks like this. I believe that retailed for $12. There is a set of 6 different brushes which is $25 and I was super intrigued by these. Even though the last thing I need is more brushes, I love brushes so much, and I figured although $25 is not the most affordable brush set at once, when you break it down by how many brushes there are in here, and then you also consider that it's cruelty-free, vegan, synthetic fibers. So I was just curious to see if they would be brushes that I would recommend. And then also, the main focus of the collaboration, I feel, is definitely the To The Rescue eyeshadow palette. And if I'm being honest, I didn't really buy this because I was in love with the color story. It really is just a rainbow palette, and as my good friend Jkissa says all the time, the rainbow was curated for you, so I really don't find rainbow palettes all that unique, but I figured it was definitely more affordable. It's $20. Some of the shades look really, really beautiful. Alright, so here's the outside packaging. It is plastic. I personally don't love plastic packaging. I prefer cardboard 100%, but it is unique because it came with a sticker sheet so you can decorate the palette. I would be more inclined to like this sticker sheet if there were cats on it. So here's what the color story looks like. I did have this shade Confetti come broken. It was pretty messy. It was all over. Luckily, I was able to clean it up for the most part and press down what was left of the pan back in. This bottom row here looks very, very promising, especially Strawberry, Suki, and Bailey look so dimensional. I will say, looking at it in person, I feel like Casey and Pepper look very similar in the palette, and Millie and Zuma look pretty similar as well. So I'm curious, swatching them out, how different they'll be. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump right on into the swatches. I'm gonna do them row by row just so we can see the shades next to one another. So we have Casey, Pepper, and Strawberry. Okay, next we have Millie, Zuma, and Suki, which that looks really pretty. The mattes look like they're struggling a little bit, but that shimmer is gorgeous. Okay, next we have Yosemite, Paloma, which this is the first matte that doesn't feel super dry to the touch. That's the most creamy thus far. And then the shade Firefly looks so pretty. I mean, essentially it's just like kind of a yellowy gold, but I feel like it just has like a lot of shine to it. Next we have Peaky, Tank, and Reagan. So we have Cannoli, Thatcher, and Bailey. And y'all, Bailey is for sure the prettiest shade in this palette. It is stunning. It's actually really similar to a shade from Divina, a little bit of a softer base, but it has a very, very strong kind of periwinkle purple shift in real life. You see that? So pretty. Last but not least, we have Sadie, Pretty Girl, and Confetti. So overall, I would say from swatching and just feeling the texture, the mattes are pretty dry. The only matte that wasn't dry was this shade. I think it was Paloma right here. The shimmers look beautiful, so I cannot wait. I'm not sure what to do today. Part of me wants to do like a red warm look just to see how different those look on the eyes, but then part of me also really wants to use the shade Bailey. All right, let's pull out the liquid eyeshadow really quickly and swatch these two just because I'm curious. Ooh, that looks so pretty. All right, so the white shade is called What a Pity Smile. That looks really pretty. It has like rainbow flakes in it, is what it looks like. I feel like that's showing up really well in person. I'm not sure how much the camera's going to capture that. It actually reminds me of the liquid shadow that I already own from e.l.f., so maybe I could swatch that in a second, but this green is called I'm Pupset. That one's kind of sheer, but it has a lot of sparkles as well. I feel like that would be so pretty with like a bronzy look with a green on the lid. Ooh. So there's the shade I have from e.l.f. already, which is called Disco Queen. Okay, Disco Queen has a little bit more of a silver base to it. This one, I can't remember the name already, is more of a sheer, like no base, but they have very similar sparkles. but I can definitely see the differences. They're both beautiful. So there's what the brushes look like. Really, really pretty. The brushes feel pretty soft just from touching them with my hand, and there is more of like a tapered fluffy brush, kind of like a Sigma E25, more of a fluffy brush, fluffy brush, which kind of reminds me of like a Sigma E40, but this one's a little bit more tapered. And then there is a nice little fat pencil brush. There's two different liner brushes. One is a bent liner brush, which you could probably use for like wing liner, brows, something like that. And then there is a flat eyeliner brush, which I typically use this just for like really getting shades on the lower lash line. And then there's also a lid shader brush as well. All right, so I already primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start off. I think I'm going to start off with the shade Yosemite, and I have decided that I'm going to do more of a warm look today. Set up on the biggest blending brush. Okay. I picked up a decent amount of it too. That wasn't, let me get more. All right. So what you just saw there was me like scratching the brush in the pan. It's definitely going to be more of a buildable formula. It's not crazy pigmented as far as the matte goes. Just, I don't know, I'm just comparing my experience of putting that on the eyelid and how every single matte kind of swatched and felt texture wise. Also, this brush is decently soft. It's not irritating my eyes by any means, and I really like the shape. I feel like it's fluffy enough to blend out, but also the very, very tip of the brush is getting right into my crease at the same time. I'm also going to grab some of that same shade on the chunky pencil brush, which it actually is quite large to use as a pencil brush now that I'm actually putting it near my eye, but I'm just blending that shade along my entire lower lash line. All right, now I think I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Millie, and I'm taking that on the smaller blending brush through my crease. Again, I feel like I'm like trying to build it up and have it blend at the same time, and it's not wanting to blend all that easy, which normally when you have a formula that's more buildable, blending is easier. I'm probably gonna have to go back into more of the yellow to go over that. Okay, so on this side, I kind of just packed the shade on a little bit more than going in blending, which is much more pigmented, but it's also not really wanting to blend out. So I'm going to take my original brush and kind of really scratch that into Yosemite and go over the edge. Man, I really, really, really want this palette to work, but I feel like I'm blending a lot for it not to be blending. I don't know if you can tell, it's just not a seamless blend, and I've literally been blending it for like 4 minutes now. I don't know. It doesn't have to be perfect, I guess. All right, now I'm going to go ahead into the next orange down, Zuma right here. Just taking that a little bit further down in the crease. Honestly, I was just curious if I'm even going to be able to see a difference between those two oranges. I'm taking Zuma up a little bit higher, and that is wanting to blend a little bit better. Still not perfect, but not so terrible. All right, now I'm going to go into the shade Casey, this red right here, and I'm going to put that directly into my crease. Again, that's definitely more of a gently pigmented shade. Just to let you know, this is 3 layers of Casey right now. So I guess that's kind of where I'm going to get it. I'm going to go back into one of my previous brushes. Again, just going to try and keep blending. I feel like this side looks better than this side. I'm going to go ahead and take the deepest red now. This one right here called Pepper. Just going to focus that on my outer V. Which, I mean, I feel like that one is showing up a little bit more pigmented, but overall the tones are just so similar. I got that built up a little bit, and then again, going back in with my previous brush. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that smaller blending brush and I'm going to go back into more of the yellow And I'm gonna like really pack it on my brush. And I'm gonna put that through the crease. Ooh, oh my gosh, that's so powdery. I dusted that off too. And just see if maybe I can get it to blend. Right, so I'm not loving the crease at all, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the flat eyeliner brush, and I guess I'm gonna go into some of Pepper, and I'm just gonna stamp that along the lower lash line. I keep telling myself, just leave it, like just go on, like it's not the end of the world if it's not blended, but I just can't help it, like I want it to be blended. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of Strawberry, and I'm gonna pop that on the outer portion of my lid. Okay. I've got a bunch of fallout and yet I feel like it's like doing nothing. Okay. I feel like this video got negative really fast, and I promise I really am trying. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Strawberry on my finger. Yeah, there we go. Which definitely applies better with the finger. But it's just strange because normally I don't mind applying shadows with my finger. It's not a big deal at all. But when a collection specifically comes with a lid shader brush, you would think that that would apply the shadow well. It would be designed to work specifically with these shimmers. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Firefly. This one's a little bit more creamy, so I'm hoping, yeah, okay, that looks way better. That is so pretty. That might be the saving grace of this look. I'm going to go into the shade Suki. I picked that up as much as I could on this brush, and the more I want to call it a big pencil brush, maybe I should just say a small crease brush, but I'm just going to go ahead and pop that on my inner corner. I just had so much fallout fall down. I literally felt it go in my mouth. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the liquid shadow, and I don't want to put this directly on my eye because I don't want to get the applicator orangey and put it back in. So I'm just going to kind of wipe some excess product on my hand, and then I'm going to go back into that same small crease brush and I'm just going to tap a little bit of that, ooh, on the inner corner. That is so pretty. Wow. The sparkles are gorgeous. Okay, really quickly, I'm going to throw some liner in my waterline, throw in some mascara, and I'll be right back. All right, for blush today, I pulled out my Kosas blush in the shade Longitude 0, and this is actually a powder blush, which I feel like pretty much everyone else always talks about their cream blushes. I keep saying brushes. And at first when I got this, I wasn't that impressed. I was just like, okay, it's another powder it's another powder blush, but it's actually super beautiful on the skin. I feel like it gives the most subtle glow ever. So I bought this thinking that this shade was going to be a highlighter for me, but it's actually a little bit too dark. So it's a very pale blush. So I think today I'm actually going to go ahead and mix both shades together. I pulled out my e.l.f. white gold. I think this is the metallic flare highlighter if I remember correctly. Just popping that on the tops of my cheekbones, on my nose. For lips, I'm going to go into my Fenty Beauty Sweet Mouth Gloss Bomb. Alright, so this is the finished look. I'm going to quickly talk through my first impressions on all the products and what I'm feeling right now. My favorite thing so far would definitely 100% be this liquid eyeshadow duo. I think it is so pretty. The sparkles are gorgeous. I'm really curious to try the green shade all over the lid and see how it wears, if it separates, if it stays sparkly, if there's fallout, all the different things that go with a liquid shadow. But just trying it right off the bat, this shade on the inner corner is beautiful. I know I used it as a topper today, but I think it would be sitting on its own, and it could be topped over pretty much any inner corner just to add more of a sparkly finish. So beautiful. So I'm really impressed by that. I feel like the brush set is nice. They're super aesthetically pleasing. They're pretty soft, but as far as the different shapes go, I feel like it's not that special of a brush collection, except I feel like this flat eyeliner brush is very, very tiny. I really like that one the most. So if you are a beginner who doesn't have any brushes, then I think that this could be a nice place to start. But if you already have a bunch of brushes, I don't feel like it's a super unique set or that it's going to bring a ton of value to my collection. As far as the palette goes, I definitely have some mixed feelings going on. I just feel like most of the mattes felt very, very dry to the touch, and that definitely translated to how they were working on the eyes. I just felt like I had to build a lot. There wasn't a lot of difference in these shades right here. I feel like they weren't really wanting to blend for me, and looking at my eye look, even though far away or even up close, it's not terrible. Like, it's a pretty look overall. Just thinking of how much time I spent blending the crease, and it looks like I literally have 2 shades there, even though I used 5. I will try more of them. I'll definitely kind of gravitate over to this side and see how it goes. But so far, not feeling the best about it. I don't want to write it off completely until I try it with some different eye primers, but at the moment, I'm not impressed. And then these shimmers on the bottom, I really think Suki is very beautiful, Firefly is very beautiful, and Bailey looks stunning. Like, that shade is really, really beautiful. But overall, like, Strawberry was just more of like a satin. I feel like you can't even see it on my eyes. I'll keep trying it, but I'm a little bit let down, a little bit disappointed because I really wanted to like this. So that's everything for today's video. If you enjoy my content and haven't subscribed already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you go, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.